NBCUniversal.org, and I'm here with the esteemed Rian Johnson. We're going to be talking about Poker Face, your brand new series coming to NBC.
Yeah.
So, first of all, you've done so many different genres already. So, kind of what got you into doing this one?
So this one, I was really, first of all, I wanted to work with Natasha, Lyonne, but also the other big thing was remembering back to when I would sit in front of the TV as a kid and the kind of reruns I was watching every single day, and it was Magnum P.I., Rockford Files, Columbo, Murder, She Wrote. So
All the classics.
All the classics. So I wanted to do a case of the week, totally episodic, meaning you don't have to sit down and you're not going to have to watch the entire season to get to the end of the mystery. Every episode has its own mystery. I wanted to do a show like that. And so that's what we sat down to do, and that's what we kind of, I think we did it. You know, I'm excited for people to see it.
Absolutely. And I was checking out the trailer a little bit earlier, and you have this penchant for kind of bringing like all the biggest names together. So I'm looking at the trailer, Adrian Brody, Ron Perlman. Like, how do you kind of bring all these people together? What do you feel like is the secret to kind of getting these kinds of ensemble casts every time?
Well, you try and write great parts. I mean, the fun part about this show, because it is episodic, it means there's a whole new cast every single episode. It's not a continuing cast. And also because it's not a whodunit where you have like 8 people in every episode and who could have done the mystery. We show you who did it in the first act. It's like Columbo. And then it's about how is Natasha going to catch them. And that means these guest stars that are coming in, we can give them real parts. They can really own the episode. They can really be the guest star of the episode. So that attracts talent, and you get to have, you get to give like Joseph Gordon-Levitt a real reason to show up, or Nick Nolte, or or Lil Rel, or you get all these amazing talented people because you're giving them something on the page that they're like, oh, I can dig my teeth into this. This will be fun.
Absolutely. So it's almost like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for them and yourself to kind of like all work on something like at this scale. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I love that.
For me, yeah.
I love that. And I'm looking at the visual style of the show, and it's very fast-paced, very high-octane. What are some of the influences that you would say you had kind of doing some of the visuals of the show? Like, did you kind of take inspiration for anything?
Yeah, I besides kind of looking back at, I rewatched, Spielberg directed one of the early episodes of Columbo, and it's an incredibly visually dynamic style that he had with it. But I looked back at, Robert Altman movies. We were looking back at kind of 70s influences for it. But also just kind of, again, it's more about, with the show, hopefully it has a style that engages people. For me, it's all about the storytelling. That's what style is. It's about hooking people with a good story,
Absolutely. Lightning round question. So something kind of fun here.
Let's do it.
Among all of the great detectives in history that you've mentioned, Columbo, Magnum P.I., who do you feel like is the greatest detective, excluding your own that you're currently writing, of
I
course?
wouldn't have said my own. I wouldn't have said Benoit Blanc. I mean, I grew up reading Agatha Christie, so Hercule Poirot is hard to beat for me. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're super excited to see Poker Face as soon as it comes out, very, very soon. So it's an amazing looking show. And again, big fan of all of your work so far. You don't disappoint, I feel like. So
Let's hope.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure, man. Thank
Hey, it's Eli Johnson with the nerdsofcolor.org, and we are here with the esteemed Benjamin Bratt, Natasha Lyonne.
How have we not met before? Nerds of Color, that is the best media outlet I've ever heard of in my life. How come I'm not a founding member? You didn't invite me.
Well, I mean, I can talk to a few people. We can make that happen.
You want to be on there,
A retroactive member of Nerds of Color, sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
Well, I guess it's. I'll leave to the committee.
there you go. Absolutely. Well, Poker Face, a brand new show. Rian Johnson is directing. You guys are both starring. I saw the trailer. It is incredible. First of all, Natasha, what kind of got you into joining from the script?
Oh, well, Ryan and I would have a bunch of dinners and kind of talk about, should we make a thing? Should we do this thing? And we started talking about who Charlie might be and what kind of a show it was going to be. And then when he actually sent it to me, that's when I knew I was already, to be honest, he could have sent me scrap paper. And I would have been like, sure, Ryan, let's go do it. Yeah, but it just so happened that it was so excellent and beautifully crafted. As Benjamin says, it was a no-brainer.
I think there's a lot of anticipation for the show, in no small part, obviously, due to Ryan and his, what people now have come largely to know as his master craftsmanship craftsmanship, at building a mystery. But the ace really in this whole thing is this young lady right here. I've known of her work for a long time, been a long admirer of what she does, but working with her on a day-to-day basis when I was on the set, I got to see a whole another side to the true artist that she is. What most people don't know is, in addition to being a really talented actor and a really kind of unique personality, she's also a really great writer and a director too, which she does in this series. I think, was it episode number 8?
Yeah, it was. That's very sweet of you.
Look at that. No, but it's
Great memory.
Yeah, it's with Nick Nolte and Cherry Jones and Luis Guzman. Yeah, it's a cool episode.
There are a lot of shows out there that explore, true crime, if you will, or murder mysteries. But what makes this unique really is the personality at the head of the table, and that's her. I think people are going to be blown away.
Absolutely, and there's no shortage of action in the series. Like, how is it kind of doing some of the stunts for this? Because it's, episodic TV. You got to do something big. You got to top yourself every week, basically.
Well, you're great at stunts. Like, I remember
waiting for her to write me, my action movie, my version of Taken.
Yeah.
For Nerds of Color.
That's a very real idea. Becca GT is my stunt double who came with me from Russian Doll. She's the one falling down the stairs and getting hit by taxis and stuff, and both seasons. I love her, and she's so great. And I think she looks more like me than I do. And but you and Adrian and myself, there's a lot. I wish somebody had behind the scenes footage. We're constantly doing push-ups before stuff, squats. We were just in it, and it was one of those things where I don't know when it began, but then it was sort of a mark of like, are you a phony or you take your job seriously? So we were constantly doing push-ups.
Like, are you going to be fake hyperventilating, or how about doing some push-ups?
Yeah, are we going to really do this?
This is like method acting. You kind of have to look at the part, as you're sweating. It has to be real sweat.
Yeah.
But as far as the genre is concerned, what are some of you guys' favorite detectives of all time? Because this is kind of in that genre. Who do you think?
There's so many good ones. I mean, I have to go with Lenny Briscoe from Law and Order. I mean, that makes the most sense for me.
That's a classic.
I love Philip Marlowe, all incarnations, Nicholson, Elliot Gould, whatever. And I love Detective Sipowicz. I think Dennis Franz is hot. And also a real piece. And I love him. And, of course, I love Peter Falk.
Absolutely. Amazing. So what we're going to, without giving away too much, of course, because I don't want to spoil it. It's about to come out. I don't want to spoil it. But what are some of your highlights from the series so far, from some of your episodes that you kind of want to tease out that people can look forward to for the season?
I can't tease, because if I tease, I reveal. And if I reveal, I'm in trouble.
How about you? Can I get anything out of you?
What he said.
Exactly. Well, this looks to be a very, very high octane, very fast paced, and very interesting and fun series. So looking forward so much to watching Poker Face as soon as it comes out on NBCUniversal. And thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you.
Natasha.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Professional artists and professors, maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC in full